Right. Hey guys, what's up? So in this quick video, I'm going to try and keep it under 15 minutes. I'm going to walk you through some ways to overcome the objection you might be getting, which is, I can't afford it. It's a very common objection. So I'm going to quickly walk you through how to overcome that. Now, let me just quickly preface this by saying that everything I'm sharing here is how to overcome the objection when you literally get the objection on a sales call. But overcoming this objection, this here is pretty much 5% of overcoming I can't afford it, right? I can't afford it is actually overcome in your booking process, it's overcome in your content, it's overcome for the offer itself. So this is just a very small part of actually overcoming the objection, but hopefully it helps. So let's get into it. So the first thing to talk about, just briefly, is condition versus objection. Now, a condition, so when someone says, I can't afford it, a condition would be that a person quite literally cannot afford it, as in they don't have the money in their bank account, and they also can't get access to the money in any way. They don't have a credit card, they can't get a loan, whatever it might be. That's a condition. That person, doesn't matter what you do, they're never going to buy. An objection is the person who says, I can't afford it, but in reality, they could, right, if they wanted to. They have the money, or they don't have the money, but they can get access to the money through a credit card, through a loan, whatever it might be. They could make it work if they wanted to. 95% of people who say they can't afford it is an objection. It's not a condition. Okay, so every time that they use that and then they don't buy, it's purely because they just didn't see the value in what it is you're offering. So this is how we're going to overcome it. So that's the first point. The second point is when you do get the objection, you want to aim to collaborate with that person and not oppose them. And so when someone says, oh, I can't afford it, you don't start saying, oh, why can't you afford it? You don't sort of get oppositional in that sense. You just collaborate. You say, look, I understand, what can we do to make this work? And you work together to find a solution that works for both of you. Okay, it's a much better way of doing it. And then the final point here is please make sure when you're selling your program, your service, whatever it is, that you give people the full price first and zip it, right? And shut up and don't say anything. And only after they ask about payment plans and that side of things do you then actually consider telling them or offering them a payment plan on that option. It's a much better way of structuring it. Believe me, it makes a big difference. So also just bear that one in mind. Now, here's the actual process for how we're going to overcome it. So imagine on a sales call, you've gone through your offer, you've told them the price, and then they say, it sounds amazing, I can't afford it. Here's what we're going to do. So step number one, and to move myself over here, step number one is you're going to clarify. So you're going to say something like this, right? You're going to say, look, I understand this is a big investment. Just to clarify, finances aside, would you be 100% in, or you would 100% want to join this program, finances aside? If they say no, you have to obviously ask why and say, okay, well, why not? What's the reason? What you're unsure of? You can overcome that objection first before you then come back to this I can't afford it objection. If they say, yes, 100% I would join, that's good, because it then means that again, most of the time you've removed any other objection. It's purely a financial objection, which becomes a bit easier to then overcome. So that's the first step in the process. And the second step is we don't want to immediately start offering, a discount or guarantees or, payment plans. Like that's just, you don't want to rush to do it. You want to save those for if you really need to use it. So instead, we're going to really push first on the cost of inaction for that person. So you say, okay, cool. So, from what I'm hearing, you 100% want to do is maybe finance is going to be, it's going to be hard basically for you to make this work right now. And I understand that, but let me just kind of remind you of something and just say it very casually like this. Say, look, over the next 6 months or however long your offer is, over the next 6 months, you're going to be spending this money either way. And let's imagine your offer's $4,000. Now you're going to be spending $4,000 anyway, right? You're going to pay for the program. But the question is, are you going to pay for it in terms of financially with money, or are you going to pay for it in time? And as a result, lose a lot of money. Right? Because you're going to learn the lessons either way. Now, do you want it to take 6 months to learn these lessons, or do you want to take it 6 years and a lot of wasted money, a lot of wasted potential? And if you've got clients you've helped before, you can use that as proof and just say, and look, just being transparent here, we've helped over 100 odd people. We've helped people in your exact niche to get the exact results you're looking for. We've gathered all their mistakes, all of their lessons, everything about them. And we have now this proven system to get someone like you results, right? Are you willing to wait and to keep doing trial and error for not just, the time that I've learned this, but all of their combined time as well? Probably not. And tell me if I'm wrong, but you spent the past few years or the past few months, again, relevant to what a person has said, you spent the past few years already paying in time, right? And that is exactly why we're here on this call right now. And for you to make that, and for you to make that decision, to change that pattern, right? And that's how you would frame that. It's a very casual way of saying it, but it's kind of like a reality check that, look, yes, the finances, it might be tight for you, but ultimately you have to make a change in how you're thinking to make an investment in yourself to actually change your outcome. And so sometimes that can be enough to get the person to realize that it's their mindset now holding them back and it's not actually anything else. And they say, you know what, you're right. I'm being silly, or I'm letting my emotions get the better of me. Let's do it. And they move forward. So that's step one. If that doesn't work, we're going to clarify again. So you always want to clarify and go back and forth between clarifying, is it money? Is it an objection? Because sometimes at first I'll say, I'm 100% in. You keep going, you ask again, and eventually they say, oh, actually, one thing I am worried about is this, right? So you have to keep clarifying. So step 3, we're going to clarify again. So what you're going to say here is you're going to say, cool. Well, again, I understand, that I understand what you're saying. I understand your concerns or about the finances, whatever it is they've said after that first point. And then you'll say, just to clarify again, then, is it the full amount, that the full $4,000 investment that's scary for you here? Or is it just that you simply don't have, $4,000 available right now in your bank to be able to pay and join this offer or join this program? If they say it's fear, right, like, no, I probably could make it work, it's just I'm still a bit uncertain, then you have to obviously, again, find that objection, but we can move to what we call logical close, which I'll show in a second. If they say it's purely the finances, like, no, I really want to do this, I just simply don't have the money right now to be able to make this work, then we can move to payment plans, deposits, and those options, which again, I'll get to in a second. So first, a logical close. So if it's like a fear or like an uncertainty-based objection, this is how to overcome it. Now, the traditional way of selling that people always say is you have to sell with emotion. And emotion, yes, works great in certain aspects of the sales process, and especially on sales calls. But especially if you're selling to a business or a business owner, emotion is just one part of that sales process and that buy-in decision. The logical outcome is also what people look at and what people will make a decision based off of. And so we go and move to a logical close. So we say, cool, well, look, I completely understand. Well, look, let's just take the emotions completely out of this decision, right? Both positive and negative. And let's just think logically for a second. Now, as I said, this investment is $4,000. Now, in the first month of us working together, and this is kind of what we do, right? In the first month of working together, we're going to raise your prices, build out this new offer, we're going to get you converting more people. And if we can just convert one extra person this month, you're going to make back your investment. But this offer is not for 1 month. It's for 6 months of our help, our support, our guidance, our program, and so on. And so look, let me be completely realistic or completely honest here. You're going to make an additional $4,000 in the next 6 months, even without our help, right? So just imagine what's possible when you do have our help, when you have our support, when you have our guidance. We're going to be able to make that happen much quicker, and we're going to be able to get you to a much bigger outcome than just an additional $4,000, right? Don't you agree? And that's like a very logical way to show someone that, look, take away the emotions, like logically the numbers add up here, right? So it's very easy to then close someone if logically they can't argue that. That's logic, right? Emotion can be very subjective in terms of how you sort of perceive it. Logic, you can't argue it, or they can't argue it. So it's a good way to do it. If you have an offer that, let's say, is not linked to a financial outcome, which a lot of people watching this may have, you can still do a logical close. Now, the way you would do it is in the sales call itself, ideally, you want to try and get the person you're talking to give you a financial number that they value the outcome you help them with as, right? So for example, the way you're going to do that is you can say, just to get an idea on the importance of this for you, let's imagine a year, 2 years time that I help you to, and then you insert whatever that outcome is you help someone to achieve. I help you to have your dream body, your perfect health, the best brand, you beat your competition, you whatever it is, right? I help you to achieve that outcome. Let's imagine that happens in 1, 2 years time, or whatever the timeline is of your program. Well, let me ask a quick question. How much would it cost? How much would I have to pay you to take that away from you? Right, so imagine you've achieved this amazing outcome, you're getting the benefits from it. How much am I going to have to pay you to take that away from you and say that you could never have that again? What's that worth to you? And most likely, it's either going to be, well, you can't pay me anything because that's priceless to me. I want to be able to keep that. Or the number they give you will be very high, most likely higher than the investment of your program. And so when you get to a logical close, you then just say, well, look, earlier you said to me that achieving this outcome is worth, minimum $20,000 to you. That's what it would cost for someone to take that away from you. But I'm saying I can get you there for $4,000. So that seems like a pretty good deal, doesn't it? Right. And again, it's that comparison of how they value it and your price point. So that's the logical close. The final one, before I wrap up here, is payment plans. So if it's just simply a case of they just don't have the money in the bank account right now, they definitely want to join. It's just the finances side of things, do payment plans, right? So you can say, okay, well, look, it's $4,000 in total. What if we split in half, right? We could do $2,000 this month, $2,000 next month. Does that work for you? And most likely they'll say, yeah, much better. Amazing. Thanks for doing that. That's great. If they say no, it's okay, cool, not a problem. Well, look, maybe another option we have then, and you want to say this, I don't normally do this, right? It's not really the option we tend to go with, but I'm happy to be a bit flexible here. We could split it across 3 months, and so it'll be, say, $1,500 every month. But that just means there will be a little bit of interest on top, as it's not something that we would normally do. Is that fair enough? Right, and you say that. Is that fair enough in that way, in that tone? And that might be the way they move forward. If it's still, look, Harry, look, whoever, I want to do this. I haven't got that much in my bank account right now, or I can't get access to it. Then it's, okay, cool, well, look, you definitely want to do this, right? And just, again, you clarify, you definitely want to do this. Okay, well, look, the only real option I have left then is that we do a deposit. Right, you pay $1,000 now. You can decide. I tend to simply say 500 to 1,000 tends to work quite well. So the option here is you pay a deposit, $1,000. That locks in the total $4,000 price point. It guarantees your spot in the program for any time over the next 6 months. And what that means for you is that you can now take the next few months to get the finances together, and then join us at any point in that next 6 months, whenever you're ready, and pay off that remaining $3,000. Right, that's the best I can do. I want to try and make this work. Does that work for you? If they say yes, amazing, get it paid, get locked in. If they say no, then to be honest, there's not much else you can do. Right, if they say no to that, it's like, cool, no worries. Well, look, let's come back to this in a month's time to see how you're doing then. And that's it, right? That happens sometimes. Sometimes you just can't make the sale. And it won't be because you haven't overcome the objection here. It will be because you didn't overcome it in the rest of the sales call, in your content, in the lead up to that process, which I said at the start of the call. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's how to overcome the I can't afford it objection. Feel free to watch back this video if you need to. If you're someone, just very quickly, if you're someone who is a coach, if you are a consultant, if you have an agency, you want to do a coaching offer, or you want to have a more scalable offer, you want to scale your business, increase your prices, stop getting these objections, and actually move your business to that next level, to go from, let's say, less than 10K to 10, 20, 30, or even 10K up to 50K plus. If that's you, feel free, just drop me a message on Instagram right now. Just DM me HVC. I'll just put it down the bottom here. DM me HVC. and I will get back to you with some information about our program, how it works, and to see if we're a good fit to help you to scale your business, your coaching business, and get you to the next level. We've got over $3 million in client wins now over the past year and a half. We've got hundreds of clients been through our program who've had major success, tons of testimonials that you see on my page, and even more I need to post. And so, yeah, if you're interested in getting help, feel free to reach out. If not, enjoy the training. Hopefully it works for you, and let me know if it does work. And other than that, appreciate your time, and I'll probably see you soon at some point on Instagram. Cheers.